come in. That's wonderful. Hello, everyone. I'm still waiting for this to stream on YouTube unlisted. So perfect. So it's there. Wonderful. And let me just grab it so we have it all in here too. So as you join in, put in the comments, how are you feeling in this energy of the full moon? We just came through a lunar eclipse. So how are you guys feeling? Put it in the comments so I can see. How are you doing? I know Kathy just came back from New York. Are you back yet, or are you still in New York? High energy, loves that. Really, really loves that. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's pull the card and then we're going to start. Right at the end of the day, you know, I've been known for cards. So let's just pull the card. I'm going to pull the card from this deck. I'm still obsessed with it since September. We'll see how long it will last. Okay, you bet. We are doing good. Fantastic. Loves that. Okay, I'm just going to put the card back in, and we have more Diana is joining here. Fantastic. We have Rachel. Hello, hello. We have a few people joining. So we're just pulling the card very quickly, and then we're going to start. Hi, Diana. Hello. And everyone is joining. I am loving it. Okay. So while I'm pulling the card, I want to ask you to think about the questions or tell me, what is it right now about school that making it overwhelming for you? So drop down in the comments. What is it about school that making it overwhelming for you? Because I'll show you a few things today and we'll go through multiple things on how to show up intentionally, how to really preserve your energy, how I show up in school. And people say that it seems like I'm on school all day long. I'm not, but it seems like that, right? So just drop down in the comments, what is that feels overwhelming for you in school? And the card that I pulled, Oak King and Holy King. Interesting. So, Oak King and Holy King. Diana is good. I love that. Fantastic. Okay. So here is a card. I'm actually going to read this one because I love this, the way this book is written. So I actually love reading it. So 6. Let's see what the cards have in store for us. Twice a year, at the solstices, a mystic rite is performed deep in the forest. The mighty Oak King and Holy King come together in a magical combat that determines who will rule the coming months. The battle is ceremonial. The outcome is always the same, stretching far back into the mist of time. The Holy King rules the darkening part of the year from summer solstice to winter, and Oak King that takes the torch and lights the year out of the darkness to its summer zenith. And I always say you can't make this shit up, right? So we're just about to switch, coming close to the solstice, and we're just about to switch all of the light and everything else. The cycle is eternal, and the outcome is assured. But still, the fight is fierce and to the death. One king must fall so the other may rise. The ghostly horse spirit called the Merry Lord stands in witness to the solemn rites, and it's she who accompanies the dying king to his rest. The victor grieves for his fallen brother, but now is the winter solstice, and the darksome Holy King must die. The Golden Oak King will rule with honor, and the brothers will meet again at the turning of the wheel. Change is inevitable. And when something is finished, you must let it go. The old must be released so that the new can take shape. The natural seasons of your life will come to pass no matter what. When it's time to leave, when your work is done, surrender with grace and move on. Embrace the opportunity for growth and change. So the card is for timely transition, pushing for change, transfer of power, and rite of passage. What a beautiful card, right? So perfect for what we're doing here. So Mayora says, I get distracted following new fantastic stories. Okay, I love that. Okay, so now let's really look at how can you show up on Skool that is going to be efficient, but also that you're not going to get in a rabbit hole. Because sometimes we can treat Skool as a social media platform, and then we become consumers and not creators. So number one, what I always recommend for people, treat the platforms, no matter which platform you on, as a creator, not necessarily consumer. I can make a guess here, most of you here on the platform, because you want to build community of the people who you're going to serve, because all of you are heart-centered, soulful entrepreneurs, and you want to help people. So in order for you to help people with whatever that your gift is, you need to attract those people into your own spaces, into your own groups. And to do that again, we need to switch that mentality and start showing up as a creator and not as a consumer. Okay. So what do I mean by that? As a consumer, you'll be scrolling on a phone, right? So, and we all get into this rabbit hole, right? Getting on a phone, maybe you're on Instagram and you watched one video and the next one came up, and next thing you know, you're watching a video of a goat, and it's probably your 50th video now at this point because it's all automatic, right? So it's all automatic, and you're watching something that is completely unrelated to what you came to Instagram for, or any other platform as well. So I always say, go to any platform with intention. What is your intention as a creator? If you are participating in a groups, in communities and Skool, what is your goal for those particular communities, right? So it could be, and for me, I categorize them in three categories. Number one would be the communities where I want to learn something specific. There is maybe skills that I'm learning. There is could be like an example of this community will be Evelyn Weiss community, Grow with Evelyn, and I'm going to show you examples of the communities as well, so if you want to see them. So example of the community where I want to learn the skill is going to be Evelyn Weiss community. Let me just show it to you, just for me, for example. This is something that I want to learn, okay? Then I would show up in this community, and that is a community here. I gave you the link if you want to look at it. So right now, Evelyn does this traffic challenge, and she has 7-day trial, and it's an incredible traffic challenge. It's very, very comprehensive. It's very detailed. And people come in to learn how to drive traffic to your communities. What I said at the beginning, right? So in order for you to help your people, you want to actually bring the people to your communities or to your offers if you don't have Skool communities, right? So number one type of the communities that I am in is going to be communities like Evelyn, is where I am learning specific skills. So for Evelyn, for example, I absolutely love her community and I know what I need to look for. So for example, if I want to learn something about the Facebook ads, then I would go to her ads, the Facebook ads here. If I want to know how to do flash sales, for example, I'll go to her flash sale and so on. So I'm not going to go and spend too much time in there. But what I wanted to say is that would be Rachel says I'm on day 7 of the traffic challenge. Yeah, it's an incredible challenge. So, but what I wanted to say is that that is the goal of my community. So I go into that community specifically when I am doing something with Facebook ads, with learning the traffic, and so on and so forth, right? So that would be one type of community. You might be in community like my community of Oracle Cards Magic because you want to learn how to design, print, and sell Oracle cards, right? So again, you will come to this community because you want to learn how to do that. And you will be in your classroom and you're going to go through all of it. I have a 7-day thing too, where you can design 25 cards in 7 days, right? So, and then after that, you can decide what other ways that you want to move on with this community or leave, whatever it is that you would like to do. So that again, this community is, there is a particular skills and why you join in it. Now, we all join communities for a reason, with intention. Sometimes we join communities that just to support other community owners. And I recommend for you to find allies that you can partner with for this very simple reason that you help in each community going, right? So at the beginning, when you just start a new community and it doesn't have too many people, I would always say find 2 to 3 allies and you just help each other community going. This is where you help with engagement and everything else. So this way your community does not feel dead, because at the beginning it's harder when you only have a few members. So there is not that much engagement, right? So that's what we do. So again, you would come to community for the skill, but you would stay in the community because of the community. And a lot of times because of the admin and owner as well, right? So because you just absolutely love how they run it, how they create engagement and everything else. So that's number one intention is, right? So number one type of the group. Number two is going to be a community, maybe like classifieds on here. And if you're not in a classifieds, I'm going to give you the link as well. I always love to showcase really great communities. And the Skool classifieds is if you have Skool communities, this is only for Skool community owners. And if you have Skool communities, this is a great community for you where you can promote your business daily. And we'll talk about that in a moment, okay? I do not show up in this community daily and I do not promote my stuff daily, but you can. So in this particular community, if you have your own Skool community, you can promote yours daily. Okay, it's an incredible community. Shannon is absolutely wonderful, and definitely recommend if you have Skool community because it will give you a lot of visibility. It will help you with a lot of things here if you're showing up with intention again. It's not about you dropping something, dropping your promotion and ghosting. Like I said, don't post and ghost. It's all about connecting with people, getting to know them genuinely, and that will go for all communities as well. So that would be second type of community for me. Where can I showcase my work, my communities? Where can I actually share my expertise? Where can I help? Where can I add value? And I approach like with any communities when I join, where can I add value? Because that's the biggest thing is, how can I help those people who are in this community based on what I know and based on my expertise as well. So that's another community, just an example of that, okay? And the number three, the type of community where I would show up, it would be something like Christine's watercolor community. And let me find it. I can never remember the name. I always have to look her up by her name. And that would be, let me just quickly go here. Okay, so watercolor journey. So that is something that is for my hobby, for my enjoyment. I want to go into this community and I would just go in there, and she has a great, great free community there, and also she has a premium level as well. She has tons of lessons here for watercolor, and that is something I enjoy doing. So I just would go and show up and just will do some. She has live painting sessions and so on and so forth. Those are my three type of the communities that I would join, right? So now, the way I would show up in those communities will be very similar, unless it's something like a watercolor. I might not show up there too much as a support, but I would show up there when I actually want to have that time for myself and do some painting. Okay, watercolor. Any questions so far? I just want to make sure we cover it. And when we do that, I'm going to grab a little bit of tea here. And by the way, you can open super clear. Okay, fantastic. And you can open a mic and just talk as well. It's absolutely informal. I want to make sure that I add value for you, how you're going to show up. Now, when you join community, number one thing that you want to do, you want to change the rule, not the change. You want to check the rules and see what is that, how can you get, how does leaderboard works and so on. But what you would do, I would recommend with every community, you're going to go to classroom, like for example, in Oracle Connections, and you go to start here section. And in the start here section this is where you most likely will find the rules, right? So you will find the rules, you will get to know the host, right? So I always put like a little video about myself. So my philosophy, people always buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And they stick with those people as well, as long as you serve them. And you can actually go ahead and learn the rules. You can also, you want to see, does this community offer commissions and affiliate commission? Because this is a great way for you to earn extra income without doing much work. And as an example, just want to show you, I started using Skool in September. I've been on Skool for a while, for 2 years, but I really did not like it at the beginning. And I just fell in love with it in September when I went all in, because the Facebook is just becoming unbearable, especially for community owners, like a Facebook group owners. It's just been so, they're just making it much, much difficult for people to show up in those communities. But always check if the communities offer affiliate, because for me, for example, in Oracle Connection, I offer 50% commission. So what it means to you, if when you refer somebody and they buy something after, it doesn't matter when, as long as you stay in community, you will get commission. So in Oracle Connections, for example, as I said, we have 50% commission. But also, if you look at that, we have Divine Download Vault that people can purchase at any point of time. This is from our last summit, right? So it's $47. So for you, you will earn $23.50 with every purchase, right? So again, and you don't need to do much. You just can invite people in. So just to show you, since September, this is how much commissions I earned. Okay, since September. And that is something that I mention casually, like I just done today. I just dropped in a couple of referral links. And when you join, if you decide to buy something, then commission is going there. That's not a bad passive income since September. And I don't really pay, like I don't post my links all the time. I don't. Okay. So that's another thing that I always recommend that for you to do, is to check and see if there is a affiliate offer. And if it is, create maybe a list of the links. And then when people asking for something specific, you can say, hey, I know a community that can help you with that. So that's another one. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Next one, what I want to see, and when I say showing up without overwhelm, is all about how you curate your communities and how you curate your notifications. So notification is number one, and this is where I'm going to go next. You're going to go to your profile. So you're just going to, let me annotate so you can see what I'm doing. You're going just to click on your, picture here, and you're going to click on, you can click on your profile just to double check that your profile is set up correctly. First of all, you want to make sure you have your picture. You want to make sure that you have your little bio here. And, and to edit profile, you just need to click on edit profile, and you can do all of that here. You would want to also add social links. If you don't want some membership showing up, you can actually toggle them off. Maybe you don't want to know that you in Oracle Cards Magic membership, for whatever reason, there could be many different reasons. You can just toggle it off, and it's not going to show on your communities, right? That you member of. So, for example, here, if I would say, "Oh, I don't want to be shown that I'm in this community in Small Business Video School," I can just toggle it off. So you can control all of that. Like here, for example, I did not want to know, school speedrun or some other things that I did not want to show on my profile. I don't know why this one is actually turned off. This one's fine. Okay, so that's another way you can control it. Next, what we're going to go to settings. And number one thing why people get overwhelmed with Skool is notifications and emails. The way Skool set up, when you join the community, there is two things happen. You immediately going to start following the admin, the owner of community. And if the admins post a lot, I do post at least 3-4 times in a few communities, you will see every post from me, okay? In notifications. Now, what you can do, first of all, if that's the case, you can unfollow the admin. So I'm going to show you how to unfollow admin first. So let's go to this community, for example, Funnel Forensic. And if I go to About, and I'm going to click, actually, no, I'm going to go here and I'm going to highlight. See here, I'm going to highlight Lisa, and it says following. I can actually click and unfollow her. I'm going to follow back, but because I do want to follow Lisa. But you can unfollow, so this way you don't get massive amount of notification, especially in communities where owner is very, very active and posts a lot, and maybe you don't want those notifications. You actually want to control when you're showing up in those communities, and I'm going to show you how to organize them in a moment. Okay, let's go back. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to unfollow the owner. So the next thing that what we're going to do, we're going to work on notifications. So when we're looking at notifications, you can again control a lot of things inside this Skool community. New follower, for example, I do want to see when somebody follows me. I love those notifications because that's a point of connection. When somebody is following me, or a new person who is going to follow me, and it's not because they join my community, because you immediately will follow me, but when somebody intentionally finds me and clicks follow, just like I did with Lisa, right? So a few minutes ago, then I will get notification inside notifications. It will tell me Lisa started following you. This is a great way for you to start connecting with those people, right? So I would send a message and I would say, hey, Lisa, thank you so much for following me. And I would look at her profile and I will mention something about her profile. Okay. Rule number one, always take interest in another person, no matter if you're following them or connecting with them inside communities. Always take interest in them and don't just say, well, what inspired you to follow me? You can, but that is a very, what is the word for that? You can connect this way, absolutely. but that does not help you to build genuine connections. So what I would do, I would look at somebody's profile and I would say, hey, Lisa, thank you so much for following me. I noticed that you have this incredible community. It's all about the funnels. Tell me more about that. If I would meet someone who would be a good member for your community, immediately I would ask for that. How can I help them? Because people will reciprocate, but I will start with how can I help you? Okay. So that's what is the way I use that. Now, you might say, I don't care. I don't want to connect with new followers. Maybe you have too many and it's not your goal. It's not your priority right now. You can always toggle it off, right? So you can toggle it on. I turn off likes because I have so many, like I post several times in several communities. And when everybody will like my comment, or sometimes I don't post but comment, but if I will get all the likes, I will probably have thousands of the notifications. And that is too overwhelming for me, especially for my ADHD brain. Okay, so that's why I turn it off. Kachin, I really like because this is when the payout comes in. When somebody joins my community, Kachin is like it's just a sound of money going through. It's very fun. Skool made it super fun. If you have Skool communities, and I know some of you do, some of you don't, but I'll show you where it will. So here, when we look at affiliates, if I say payout right now, you will hear the sound. Actually, let me share a sound. I don't think I did. Right now you will. So if I say payout, you will hear sound. Did you hear that? And they have this really fun way, like a little money flying into your account. So Skool does a really great job at gamification here. So let's look at other settings and notifications. So we're going back to notifications here. Affiliate referrals the same way. If somebody refers, I want to thank them, I would just say, hey, thank you so much for that. Now, this is where your communities is going to start. And in this communities, you see how mine says here custom. It means that I change notifications. So if I am in, let's say in Gen community here, I can go to drop down menu. And the way it's set up initially, it will be this way. It will give you digest email weekly, and it will give you hourly email telling you about notifications. This is way too much. I set it at never and never. And then I leave admin announcement on because I always want to know if I'm in a community, there is a reason why I'm there. So I do want to know when admin makes a posts and announcements, so I leave it on. And event reminders, I always leave on as well. So what is the event reminders? So if we go into community and you go into the calendar, like here, for example, today we had this call at 9 o'clock. And if you look at this, I always set it up that it will send email to all of the members one day before. If you turn it, unless you turn it off, right? So when I showed you here, let's go back. And if I'm going to go here again, see if you turn off email reminders, then you don't get those emails either. Okay, event reminders, sorry. Okay. Now, talking about the calendar, and I know we're jumping from place to place, but it's kind of related. Talking about the calendar, when you inside the calendar in any community, you can actually save this. So for example, next Tuesday, 8:30 in the morning my time, we have a special guest here, Leah Davidson. I haven't finished filling it up yet, but we have a special event here, and Leah is going to talk us through a really specific process, doodling your boldest year without burning out, and it's called midlife fire. So for the year of the fire horse, right? So what you will do when you get to the calendar, you're going to add it to calendar, and you can pick any calendars that you're using. So for example, I can just go with the Google, And I'm just going to add this event to my calendar. So now it will show up on my calendar and next week, sorry, right here. See, it's now showing up in my calendar. That's how you are going to make sure that you don't miss your any events that you want to go in. When I come to community, I also look at the events that I want to attend. I don't attend every event because it's not my intention, but I would attend the events that are important to me. So for example, when in January we had summit in this community and we have another one coming up again, right? So I go back to January. You had a lot of, we had 58 speakers, and we had about 16, I believe, the live speakers. We'll have again over 16 live speakers. And what you can do, you can just go to the calendar, just like I showed you. I recommend you to go with that not monthly view, but this view. Okay. And then it's easier for you to see. And then you can actually go and you like, oh, okay, I really want to attend Addie's session. And you're going to go and place it in your calendar because it's impossible for you to attend all of the sessions. It could become really overwhelming, especially during summits as well. Okay. So that's what we will do with the calendar. Now, next. So far, so good. Just let me know if I'm moving too fast. I'm going to stop for 1 second. I'm going to get some tea here. Let me know if I'm moving too fast. Okay, good. Drop down. What is one new thing did you learn so far? Just one. One new thing. What did you learn so far? Before I get moving into how to move your communities and stuff. Nobody? Everyone has fallen asleep? I okay, good. Notifications and deleting. Yeah. I love that, Kathy. Yes. Think like a creator, right? Not like a consumer. I love that. Okay, perfect. So let's go. And so you've seen the notifications. I talked about them following if you don't want a lot of notification as well. Now, how do you organize your communities? You see that on the left, on my left-hand side here, I have 8 communities here and I pinned them. I'm going to show you that. But before and you also can rearrange them, right? So you can also move them in a different order here as well. So for example, here, I have my Oracle Parts Magic, my Oracle Connection, then I have my community for my mastermind, and then I have Gems community. That's the one that I show up all the time, and I have Evelyn community that I showed you, and I also have another small community of mine here. And then I have a couple of other communities that I love to support, or this is a perfect example of community where I like to learn. Eve is actually um, he was actually Hollywood editor, and the way she teaches video is very, very different. She teaches how to use AI for that, but it's not why I'm in this community, not specifically for AI. It's how to build the story with video, how to really tell the story with the video. So that's the community. That's a very cool community. So if you want to check it out, you can do that as well. So you can rearrange it here. But most importantly, when you join community, it will show on top here. But what you can do, you can drag it and you can move it, right? You can move it on this drop down menu here. You can actually drag and move them in any orders that you want. So for example, I joined several communities last week, and I'm checking them out. There is a few different reasons, and I'm checking them out. This is why they are on top. but some of them I might believe in, some of them I might not be. Like this one, for example, I probably don't want it at the top, but there's a certain things that I want to check in this community. I would actually drag it right to the bottom. Now, I have a lot of communities. Don't be like me. You don't need that many communities. There is a reason why. I am in all communities from my mastermind members. I'm in all community, like in a lot of communities of my members as well to support them. So there is a different reasons why I would be in a communities. I would not recommend to have more more than 10 active communities. This is why I love this 8 communities that you can pin, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So again, rearrange your communities any way you want here. You can just drag, drop, and drag them here. And next one, how do you pin your community? So you are going to go to settings again, and then you are going to go under communities and settings and see this little pin. This is how you're going to pin it. You can only pin 8 communities. So you're going to pin them. So I already have 8. So for example, if I want to unpin this one, see how it disappeared and only 7 now here. Okay, so there's only 7 there now. So, and I can pin another one, and this way, this community is going to be there. It's not what I want it this way. Okay, so that's how you're going to go and pin communities there. Okay. Questions. I'm just trying to see. I have my notes here, see if there is anything that I missed. Okay. Next thing that I want to say is that I do audit of my communities at least once a quarter, and I actually remove myself from the communities that no longer I need to be in, right? So I remove and I rotate them as well. Okay. Any questions? And I'm looking at my notes here. And I'm going to get something else here in a moment. So I can show you. I do have a little presentation. I tend not to show the presentation. Rachel said I don't. Mayora says not very clear. Mayora, where are you not clear, hun? So because I want to help you with that. And while I'm waiting for Mayora, so I'm just going to show you my presentation here, right? So showing up without overwhelm. We talked about notifications. We talked about unfollowing admins, too many communities, right? So that's one. Then organizing your communities, right? So what are the core communities that you're showing up? Then what are the communities to learn from? Which one do you want to archive? We talked about that already. Hi. The way you can take an action, you can list all Skool communities that you joined, and you can kind of say, okay, this is my priority here. This is where I want to be. And then mute all, like, kind of rank them by tiers, or, this is number 1, this is where I want to be, this is number 2, number 3. And then you can just leave or mute your communities 3, like, of the tier number 3, and make sure you bookmark your tier number 1 communities. That's what I was showing you on the left-hand side. And then set weekly check-ins for tier number 2 and show up in communities which are tier number 1 daily. Okay. We talked about the community settings, right? So turn off the emails. I showed you how to do that. Only, choose only again notifications, like turn off likes and everything else. And then disable the notification for others. We talked about unfollowing admins if you need to do that. And then creating your feed, bookmarking, What we did not talk about yet is schedule and school time. And this is what I said at the beginning. You might think that I'm on school all the time, and I'm not. I show up on school 3 times a day. I normally do it in the morning, I do it in the midday, and at the end of the day as well. And then I catch up. And I do spend, because I have several of my own communities, I spend probably longer than you guys are spending, because I spend a good quality time in each of my own community, making sure I'm answering questions from my members and so on and so forth, right? So but you also need to schedule your time, and you can schedule 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, where you can actually show up, intentionally respond, make posts, and so on. Okay. Okay. One of the big thing is allow yourself to miss things, and that is, I always say, exercise JOMO versus JOMO versus FOMO. Okay. So I always say JOMO, which is joy of missing out, versus FOMO, okay, fear of missing out. So really exercise that. Okay. Okay, Mayra mistype. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure I'm answering all questions. Okay, good. Next one, let's see here. 15-minute school method. 5 minutes morning check-in, contribute, 5 minutes wrap up. This is for somebody, if you're only in 1 or 2 communities, you definitely can do that. I would spend probably 30 minutes and 30 minutes, or 15, 15, 15. So that becomes 45 minutes for you. And engage selectively and on a purpose. This is where I was talking about. Approach it as a creator and not as a consumer. Okay. And create more than you consume. We talked about that, right? So post a question, share a win, offer a tip, welcome newcomers. And this is important, even if you're not a community admin or owner. When you start welcoming people and really replying with the meaningful replies, you start building connections. So that's one of my favorite ways to build connections in other communities. Okay. That's all. Create over consume. 70% creation, 30% consuming, or less. Alrighty. I'm going to open for questions here, and looks like you guys are very clear. I'm looking forward for you to see removing that overwhelm and really setting it up that it's serving you, because we have life to live and we also have businesses to run. So this way, when you're showing up with intention, you have a lot of time left, to enjoy your life. You guys are a very quiet group. You can open up. Let's take this opportunity. If you don't have any questions, maybe you introduce yourself and people can get to know you. So I am going to go in here. And if anyone wants to just open up, introduce themselves, and just let us know who you are, what do you do. And so amazing to see Nathan's face. He's been incredible and so active in the community. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. I know that Rachel is the same. Thank you, Rachel. And I've seen her face at the beginning as well. Kathy said, thank you. My biggest takeaway was the first few minutes of being a creator. Rachel, I've really enjoyed your group. I teach tarot. Okay, amazing. So Rachel teaches tarot. And guys, if you have your Skool community or any other links, feel free to drop them in the comments, because that's the opportunity when we jump on call kind of to get to know each other. So Nathan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just a small interruption there.
No worries.
Hello. Daughter's just arrived back from a long walk. So yeah, hello. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for holding the space and thanks for holding the trainings. Really appreciate it. I am a leadership coach, a mix of leadership coach and hypnotherapist. So I qualified as a leadership coach 16 years ago, working in FTSE 250 organizations, corporate space. But I also know and knew that there was stuff going on for people that it doesn't matter what the framework is, it doesn't matter what the suggestion is, it doesn't matter what the model is, that they wouldn't do it because psychologically they were holding themselves back. And in that, I went on a journey with psychedelics. So I've been using psychedelics for about 8 years. And 6 years ago, trained as a hypnotherapist, mostly inner child trauma, developmental trauma type stuff, self-sabotage, people-pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination, addiction, phobias, you name it, all the beautiful stuff that really holds people up. And that's my happy space, just working with people, kind of helping them to overcome that stuff. But the interesting thing came with a combination of the shamanic, the spiritual work that I've been doing. I learned to read tarot many, many years ago, but never did. And then as a result of that, I've combined my experiences with hypnotherapy, the shamanic, the energy, with creating an oracle deck that brings all that stuff together. So there's a chance to use hypnosis and hypnotic meditation to really access the energy of the card and really rewire your subconscious mind at a very, very deep level. So it's just bringing all these complex ideas together and making it accessible to people has been quite a joy.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Don't know if you knew or not, I am certified hypnotist too, so I'm very
Nice.
big on subconscious and everything else. I totally know what you're doing. And I worked as a leadership coach for many years in a large organization in the US. And before that, done a lot of leadership coaching as well in a different banking environments as well. So I totally understand how we all move from like this very rigid environment into more of spirituality and bringing cards and everything else together, different modalities. I definitely love that. There is a member inside Oracle Connections I would recommend you to reach out and connect with. I think
please.
you will, and his name is Anthony. I believe it's Rio. So let me just double check. I will show you on screen. I will actually grab. Okay, so Anthony. Yeah, so here's. So he has a really cool community as well. He just crossed 500 members in his community the other day. And he's shamanic teacher and healer. And I think you will find a lot in common, right? So and could become a really good allies for each other. I don't know if you do have Skool community or not, but that is not yet. So that's okay as well. But that is somebody to check out and reach out and connect with, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks very much for the suggestion.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, awesome. Fantastic. What is one thing, or let's put it this way, if you could connect to one person and everybody else in as well, just drop it down in the comments. If you could connect now with one person, what type of person it could be? Because maybe I know somebody, or maybe Rachel or Mayora knows someone.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think at the moment I have a few people in my network periphery kind of support mechanisms that are kind of helping me tick a few of those boxes. I'm having to do a few things gradually, kind of around Facebook advertising and stuff, just between working with one-to-one clients, building products, etc., and also being a father and a husband and all of those things.
Yeah,
it's just doing them at stages. So I've got access to a friend of mine who's helping me a little bit with the advertising strategies and stuff, and I've been building the website myself for the landing page. So the next stage is going to be actually me almost getting out my own way and putting some of those adverts into practice and getting the video content and just testing raw video footage in Facebook adverts.
Yeah. And you can also start, you don't necessarily need to start with paid advertisement. You can start with participating in summits, right? So for example, my summit is coming up. I'm going to be dropping application right after this call. So summit is a good entryway for you to create something, because with my summit, you will provide a free gift. Yep. Right. So, and that is the way for you to get people on your email list and start testing your funnels. Right. So, and when I say funnel, people immediately think, oh, I need to have like a running Facebook ads. I need to have, that's not what I'm talking about. Your simple funnel is people sign up for your opt-in. You get them an email, you give them welcome email, and then you start sending them emails so you can actually nurture them. Or another way of funnel would be similar, but you can have your gift inside Skool community for other people who have it, like Rachel, for example, right? So I know you don't, but I want to cover with everyone. So Rachel, like you might have the gift for Summit inside your Skool community, and you can actually provide that as a gift in a Summit, and people will start joining your community. And from there, you have a certain way moving them, right? So moving them from one place to another, like from your free community, maybe you have a tiers, paid tiers, and so on and so forth. So that is something that I would recommend, like a simple funnel. Since you don't have a full community, a landing page, getting some gift, giving them something, right? So I always say ethical bribe. We're giving them something for exchange of the email address. And then through your email, you're not spamming them. You through your email, you're building this, you're nurturing the relationship, and you're moving them to that next step, whatever the next step could be. Next step could be selling your deck. Next step could be a one-on-one call. Next step could be anything, right? And then it could move them into different offers that you have. So the summits are really good for that, and Skool, summits and Skool even better, because you actually have a attention of people inside community. Like mine is a very active community, as you know. So when people come in, you'll have a lot of people join in if you're doing live, let's say, presentation, or even if you're doing pre-recorded presentation, people will start commenting on those as well. I encourage always, I will say, don't miss, like, you know, all the pre-recorded presentations, because we have tons of gold in there as well. Yeah, one way to kind of check out and see what it looks like is if you have access already to Divine Downloads Vault from my last summit, you can definitely see this is paid, right? So if you have access to that, you can see how many we had 58 stickers. I mean, like it's, and I didn't even open all the drop down menus, right? So it's all, so we had 58 stickers, we had roundtable with stickers, we have then extra sessions as well. So that is a good idea for you to check out. So for example, here's Teresa. Oh, I'm not sure why her thing is not working. Oh, it's working. It just wasn't showing correct. So that is a pre-recorded presentation, right? So that she done, and she was offering the gift. Gifts are no longer here. And this way, this is how she got people on her email list, right? So and same thing like with Rojitza, same thing. She had some pre-recorded presentation and the gift as well. So if you want to just check out and see, you can definitely get access to that. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, because the fastest way for you to check if something is going to work, and your friend who is helping you with advertisement will probably say the same thing, you need to have at least 100 visitors to see the stats on your gift. So first of all, to see if your landing page is resonating, if the copy on the landing page resonating, right? So if you had 100 people who clicked on your landing page and only 2 of them opt in, so there is something wrong with, there's something not resonated. Not wrong, but there is something we need to tweak.
Something off.
Right, something is off, right? So that's why it's so important for you to get exposure and, like I say, eyeballs, right? So we need to get as many eyeballs on your offer, and remember, you need to sell the free. Your free offer, you're still selling it. And you need to get eyeballs on it so you can see, okay, this did not resonate, so let's try something else. Right? And the same thing when you are in our community, when you reach level 6, then you can start sharing links to your opt-ins or anything like that. Again, you will start seeing, because you would not know how many people click until you look into your, I don't know what you use for landing pages, but you can actually see stats, how many people visited, right? So I use Kit, for example. I can see how many people visited my landing page, how many opt-in, what is my conversion rate.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's when from there we can decide. Yeah. Also, I remember conversion rates are, you need to look at industry standards. If you are above industry standards, so even if it's 4%, that is a good conversion rate. A lot of times people like get hung up and they like, oh, I'm only at 5% or 6% of something. And if you look at the conversion rate to paid products, industry average could be only 3. So you're actually quite higher than that. So
Yep.
let's look at what we're comparing. Okay. Yeah, definitely recommend to do those ones, like a bundle, summits. Just make sure that audience is the right audience in those.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah. Good.
Brilliant.
Any questions
you.
for me? You're welcome.
No, it's great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Good. Rachel said, I teach Tara in a non-traditional way. Most people teach in the spiritual, self-reflective way but they complement each other. Finding someone who I could connect with like that, or someone in spiritual community who encourages Tara as a tool. Okay. So Rachel, do you want, like, you don't even need to open the camera, but can you clarify a little bit? You say that you teach them not necessarily in spiritual or self-reflective. Are you teaching them in both ways? I just need a little clarification. I'm not sure if you can talk. If you can't, it's totally okay. Oh, you teach more of the basics, okay? And do you mean that you just really teach of all of the, so when we're looking at major and minor arcana, for example, do you go by teaching all of the symbols, ever like astrology? Because there is so much, like when you say I teach basics, there's so much in tarot. So you teach them how to use them, like do they memorize? Like there's different people teach different ways. So for example, I have a friend who has a YouTube channel called Introvert, Tarot for Introvert, or something like that. Or Introvert Tarot. I don't remember. Something Tarot and Introvert. I can look it up, Lorraine. And she teaches very differently. She does not teach to memorize symbols or anything else. She teaches through stories. She teaches through symbols and everything else. So when you say that you teach how to read it, basically, he said, I'm actually creating an interactive AI model to create. Okay, got it. I like that. Storytelling method too. Okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you so much. I'm asking these questions because I want to kind of understand who you want to connect with. Well, Nathan, you do tarot as well, right? Yeah. So here is a connection right here. So connect together. That would be a good connection for you guys. Okay, so that's one. And some other people, I'll have to think about it. Lorraine is not on Skool because she's on YouTube, but definitely would be a good connection there. I'm just trying to think who else. Yeah, thank you for dropping the link, Rachel. Yeah, so, and Nathan, if you have any links, welcome to drop them as well for people to share in here. Okay. I can't think of anyone like off the top of my head about the tarot right now, but I'm sure it will come to me. And when it does, I will tag you in a group. Okay. Perfect. I like that. Good. Fantastic. Alrighty, we're almost at time. And Rachel said my conversion are good even though I'm small. Yeah, and normally when you're looking at the conversion rates with the smaller groups, they are better than larger groups. It's actually harder to grow larger groups than the smaller group. Engagement might be not as large in the smaller groups. This is why I recommend to find allies who can connect, who can help you with engagement. Perfect, fantastic, thank you. And I'm going to grab those. Yeah. So 50% engagement, this is a really good conversation. Let's talk about that. Because 50% is not engagement in your group. So if you're looking at, let's look at this community. I'm going to look at dashboard. And they just yesterday changed things, right? Okay, let me just find where is the daily engagement showing right now, because they just changed. There is no longer metrics. So I need to find where it is. Okay, yeah. Here, I found it. Okay. You can tell that my community is super engaged, right? So, however, when you look at the engagement metrics that I found it now after they changed it, it takes forever for me to find. It shows 43% engagement. And if you look at the history, when the group started, when the summit was running right in January, and then up to February 14th, you can look at 77% engagement, and then engagement dropped to 42, 43% right now, right? So this actually engagement is not in your group unless they changed it now. Maybe they did, but we have to double check because they change. School changes all the time. So today they will have their school news, and I'm going to listen and see if I can get answers. But what it actually tells you, it's how many people. It used to tell at least how many active people. Now they change it to engagement, so I'm not sure what it means. But when it was active people, it did not mean active in your community. It actually meant active on Skool. So when I look at here, 77% out of 1,800 people, this is not that it was 73% of my people, were active. It's 73% were active on Skool. So now that they changed it, we'll have to listen what they're going to see. So if I'm looking at daily activities here as well, right? So here 7%, 194 were active. And again, I don't know if it's now showing in community or on Skool, so we just need to clarify, as I said. If you're looking at our community, we're pretty active, right? So we range anywhere between 500, 600, up to 1,200 activities every day. Okay, alrighty. Rachel says, yeah, I know, they all change everything. I have to leave. No, it's all good. We're running a little bit over. Thank you so much. It was awesome to meet all of you guys and new faces. We'll be doing that a lot. Remember, tomorrow, do not miss 2-hour copy marathon. It's not going to be on Zoom. It's going to be, I'm going to make a post, and it's at 11 o'clock my time, Pacific time, and that's going to be 2 o'clock Eastern. This is not a call. What you will see, you will have a post where Becky will help you to write and rewrite the copy of whatever you want within 2 hours. So she'll have a 2-hour window where she's going to do it live. So if you write in a copy for landing page, or if you write in a copy, or you have like Rachel for you, you have your about page, right? So about page for your community. So here's Rachel. You can actually bring your about page and make a copy of that and drop it in that post and see how Becky can help you with it. Okay, so don't miss that. Becky is an incredible copywriter, and do not miss this opportunity. That she's going to do it for 2 hours right underneath the post. Okay, perfect, fantastic. Any other questions before we're going to say goodbye? No? Okay.